Great. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our next episode of Estafet for Earth, where we go around the world and meet our colleagues, the regression therapists and members of our association. And today we move north, and today we're in Sweden with Jörgen. Hi, Jörgen.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Great.
Day-
It's nice
Days
to have you.
days are getting more sunny by the day, so that's
Yeah,
nice.
finally. Yeah, it's coming. The summer is coming. So great for you to agree to join us today, and I'm very much looking forward. And so let's just go right ahead and start. And if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you live, and where you're from.
Well, I am from Sweden, and I live in Sweden. I have been living all around the world, but in the last 40 years I've been living in Sweden or so,
Mhm.
and I work here. I work as a hypnotherapist. I work as a regression therapist, hypnoanalysis I work with also. Uh, Yeah, well, I have different strings on my bow.
Right, so in different directions slightly.
Yeah,
Nice. And what was your training for all those things? Where did you train?
I trained. Well, first started training with Neil French in England, training hypnosis and hypnoanalysis, which is a very specific, not so much used a form of psychoanalysis, but under hypnosis.
Mhm.
So that was extremely interesting. And of course, that means doing regressions to this lifetime, the early influencing years. And they're naturally, spontaneously, um, some people went further back into past lives just spontaneously. So I got into regression therapy. And I trained with Henry Leo Bolduc. Um, and he was a fantastic person, wonderful teacher, and a nice friend.
Great. And was that always your profession, or did you do something else before you started this?
Yes, I did something before. The change of profession occurred in 1986. This is when I first started studying hypnosis. Before that, I was a teacher of meditation and different yogic experiences. Did that for a long time. But I thought that I needed something more because people started coming with all sorts of disturbances, of the mind, and I just didn't think that yoga explained or helped very much. Something, of course, meditation helps, um, but I needed more tools.
Yeah.
So I started looking for good tools, and a friend of mine tipped me off for this teacher in England, and so I went, and I stayed with him for quite a few years, and uh, I've been working with it since.
So this is like your full-time job now, as
It's
of
my
for all these years.
it is, of course, nowadays I'm halfway working, half time working, and half time just being a senior citizen.
It's also great. You can enjoy.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. And so how did that also regression therapy and hypnotherapy, now that you're half and half and before you were full-time, how was that for you, being a full-time hypnotherapist and regression therapist?
Um, I had a very busy practice,
Mm.
fortunately, and so I got stressed. And eventually, my wife took over the bookings, and she's a little better than me to saying no.
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for people who saying, "Well, I've been everywhere, nothing helps, and can't you help me? All right.
Mhm.
And there I go, you know. So my wife takes care of that nowadays. So
All right.
it's a good thing for
Great.
me.
How helpful. And
Yeah.
do you get clients that are mainly from Sweden or also Nordic countries or also around the world?
Uh, I do. I do get people from around the world. Before they used to travel to Sweden, you know, from the neighboring countries like Germany and, of course, the Scandinavian countries. But nowadays, of course, with the digital revolutions, I reach people, or they reach me from around the globe.
Right.
Mm.
That is much more accessible now. Exactly.
Yeah, in that way, it's nice.
Yes.
Just like we are speaking now, I can see you, and
Mhm.
that was a revolution long, not so long ago. Yeah, so I I don't mind working with you know, with Zoom and things like
Mhm.
that.
Mm.
Although there are certain drawbacks, of course.
Right, right. And
Mm.
actually, my question was, since you work a lot online now, do you have any tips for working online for our colleagues?
Oh, maybe that's a little presumptuous because they're probably much better than me with these things.
Well, everyone has their own experience.
Yeah. Well, I because that's the way I work. I work through a lot through sounds.
Hmm.
I would suggest getting a good sound system. So I mean, I listen to clients very carefully, the words they use and how they say them, because that's my modality. That's important to me.
Right.
So a good sound is important, and of course, good lighting in these are natural things.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's the important thing is to be close to the client and the client being close to you.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly was my comment when we started the video, that your sound is very good.
Ah, good. Thank you.
I really hear you very close. It's true. Because I had this experience with one client online and I did not have anything. And so at some point I couldn't hear her myself because she was so quiet, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a very important sound.
I've got one more tip.
Yes,
Um, i- with your client, make sure you have the client's phone number
right,
because it can cut off, you know.
right.
The
Yes.
line can be cut off. And then, I mean, I had that experience the other day. Um, all of a sudden, I couldn't get her back.
Mm,
Not that the line broke, but she just did not want to come back.
mm-hmm,
And she stayed there, and I tried everything. Of course, if it had been a live session, I have my tricks how to do that. But no, I didn't have. Fortunately, I had a phone number, so I could ring her up on the phone and
right. Get her back.
get her back. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And so with doing all this for so many years, how did uh, this profession and regression therapy in particular affected your life personally?
Oh, deeply. Not only, not only when it comes to past lives, uh, but all sessions, they teach me so much about myself and my reactions and my presumptions. Sometimes, you know, out of lethargy, I think, well, you know, being little experienced, it's going to go this way. And I, so many times have found out, don't be presumptuous. Just follow the client as it is. And in that way, you can also avoid being a leading the person into where you
Right.
think you should be. Yeah.
Mm, exactly. Did you learn something also? I mean, this is therapy wise, right? This teaches you how to be a therapist, but what about you as a person? Any learnings that stand out?
Probably a million, but you know, the most important I that has helped me personally is to be more of a person. I know, you know, what is it that people need, including myself. It is the a relationship of warmth, a relationship of wishing each other well, you know. So that's really something that I concentrated in my life for the last 10, 15 years. Instead of being up in the head and being the intellectual teacher,
Mm.
I've gone away from, I hope, from much of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's true. And now to also an interesting question that we have touched before we started is an interesting story from your practice. Is there anything to share?
Yes, I was
Mhm.
thinking, hard on that question because there are so many things that pop up when you think of it. But probably one of the most outstanding memories is concerning a lady that came. Um, she had gone to therapy for 20 years, but she was suffering very badly when she was younger and she could not be with her alone with her children. She always had to have someone else there to make sure that she didn't kill them. She had this, this OCD about killing the children.
Mm,
Really, really scared. So really suffering. Now the children are older, so that went away. But then now she's got grandchildren, and she has the same problem. And she can't hold the children, the grandchildren, being alone doing that. Just she has to make sure someone is there to stop her in case she does.
mm,
So that is, of course, a case of incredible suffering for her. And like I said, she's been to therapy. And I was doing a bit of a lecture tour in North Sweden, and she heard me. And she came after and asked for if I had time for a session. And I just didn't have the heart to say no. And then we did have a session. And this session really is so strong in my mind because she abreacted. And we found not only, well, the story unfolds as a past life. Um, she was abused by warriors. She said Vikings, but I mean, yeah. And she was badly raped and mutilated, and she died. Now, I did, for some reason, she never asked me, but for some reason, I recorded this session. Uh, and in retrospect, I understand why.
right.
And in that session, every time her anxiety level, her hands were going like this, and you can actually hear it in this little recording. When the anxiety increases, it goes faster and faster.
Mm.
And shall I play it?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Let's do it.
Okay, so this is when she actually experienced the original pain, or at least that what we presume the original pain of being so severely abused by a lot of warriors and then eventually horribly mutilated. But I don't play that part. I play the first. uh you can hear her arm now going up and down. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it like that. That was that was a gruesome. I'll stop share now.
Wow.
A horrible experience for me and for her especially.
Mm.
She had been saying words like red hot fury, red hot rage, but not mine, she said, but not mine.
Mm.
And I knew it was hers. So then this happened, and I was thinking, well, this probably would explain a lot of the rage that she feels in this lifetime. But still, it didn't satisfy me. And I saw that in her bodily language, and also the arm kept doing it, although on a slower level. I realized there's more tension there. So she'd actually died. They really did a horrible job on her, and she died. And she goes to explain what happens, and she's very, very cold, and she's taken a boat. It's like even like the Norse mythology, taking a boat, and then she comes to a cathedral and a huge door, and she goes in, and there's a fire in there. She goes to the fire because she's so cold. Her lips are going like this, her teeth. And in front of the fire, she goes to get some warmth. And she says, but there's no warmth. There's no warmth here in the fire. And so I take her on, go on. And eventually, shall I play the other part, the last part?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay. Share. Share is there. And share is there. Okay. Now, I'm not sure where we end up in the recording, but I think it's roughly here.
Jag vet inte riktigt just nu.
She doesn't know what's happening right now. And her arm starts going a little stronger.
Då är jag i ett ingenting.
Then I'm in nowhere. Nowhere.
Just det. Så är det också mörkt.
It's very dark.
Vad vill händerna och armarna göra?
What do the arms and hands want to do? I keep pushing it a bit.
Vad vill de göra?
What do they want to do?
Vad vill de göra? Berätta.
Tell me.
Vad gör de? Vad vill de göra?
What are they doing? What do they want to do? And I can see her wavering, and I don't want to lose her. I want her to go into it.
Berätta.
Tell me.
Jag tror att de vill
I
göra
think
så här.
that they want to do like this.
Jag tror att de vill göra mer.
I think they want to do some more.
Döda!
Kill, 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 kill. Kill.
Just det. Där har du det.
There you are. And she says, And she swears a little bit.
Huh.
And she says, anyway, she says, so bloody nice. She got rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people who do work with body therapy a lot, they probably would have gone in earlier to question the arm. But I know, because she was in front of me, I could see she wasn't ready.
Right.
And that would have stopped our progress a bit. It would have prolonged anyway the session much, much more. Because she was standing on the brink all the time, and she wanted to say but didn't want to say. She didn't quite know, but there's something horrible, so she didn't want to. So I had to push her in the end, and she came through, and that's it. I followed her up a few years, and still doing fine.
So it was gone, this feeling with the children.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And she's been going to therapy for 20 years. And I realized that I have one chance. I'm going to leave the town tomorrow. I have one chance. So, yeah, so we did it. I don't know what you're going to make out of this, but make from this. But for me, it was a very powerful moment. Shows the potency of regression therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing. Wow, it's amazing.
Thank
also
you.
with such a even in internal experience into the sound of the session. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jörgen.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go into another deeper question, because as the story goes, I get a question from David Graham that nominated you to do this interview, and he got asked the question that I'm going to ask you now, which was who we are, what is our place in this universe, and how come we have all these many different lives?
I see. What a simple question.
Exactly. It's just for a 15-minute answer.
Thanks, Dave. Well, as far as what I think is that we will never be happy. We will never reach a sense of fulfillment until we actually transcend this world of exploitation, and the mentality of using things and people for my own enjoyment. And as long as we do that, we're going to stay until we reach a level of no need. We're going to stay here, and different levels, up and down, up and down. I don't believe in the theory that you just improve everything until eventually you reach, well, it depends on how you see this, of course, but you may see it like that. Up and down can also be a way out. But basically, I would say we will come back again and again until we actually learn to be no need. And that way we will let people be. We won't exploit them, and our selfishness, our self-centeredness, at least in this bodily sense and the mind sense, will cease. I don't know if that's an answer that will satisfy Dave, but that's what I came up with now.
All right, next time we'll have a interview with both of you together.
Yeah. Well, you see, my experience is first of all, I'm not just this body, right? And I think we all who work with regression therapy agree with that one. But also, we are not this mind, or some people call it the soul. I'm not really sure how how people define the soul, but for me, the soul is that eternal spark. And until we reach that eternal spark, which is, a God-given gift, then we will keep going on and on, up and down this material world until we really get sick of it.
And just let it all
I
go.
mean, it's the same story, it doesn't matter what life eat, sleep, and mate, and defend, that's what we do. Yes. Sooner or later, you get sick of it, at least when you get to my age.
So yeah, it goes on, and then who knows what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, great. Well, I hope Dave will be happy with this answer. And now you get to ask your own question to the next person who will be doing that. And you get to choose that person and who that person will be.
My next person would be a person that I've known quite a few years now. And that's Nasus.
Right.
And I see him as a friend, but I also see him as a teacher. I've attended a lot of his workshops, spoken to him privately, and I know he's such a knowledgeable person.
Right.
Really well educated, and usually has substance behind what he says. So I would definitely nominate him with a
Right.
with a clear heart. And my question, goodness gracious, it was maybe a few years ago, 3 years ago, we met, and I had this vision internally. I didn't say anything, that he was somehow connected with the old Alexandrian bishop Athanasius. I'm not sure if that's a Greek pronunciation, but he was a great theologian who fought the notion that Jesus was of a different substance from the Father. I'm not sure I agree with that, but anyhow, I don't know. But my question to Nasus is, have you had any past lives or any notions about this Athanasios in Alexandria in, what is it, 300 or so? Yeah. That's my question.
All right. Interesting. Oh, I'm looking forward to ask this question next time.
Good.
Great. Thank you so much, Jörgen.
You're welcome, Anna.
And we'll wrap it up. And as I said, you guys are look out on all the videos that are coming out on our website and also the newsletter. And Jörgen, I thank you very much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes.
Person.
Thank you very much, Anna, for arranging all this. And I shall certainly look at the different films that you're putting out.
Yes, please take a look. Exactly. Thank you, Jörgen.
All right.
It was a great pleasure. Bye, guys. And we'll keep you posted and keep watching.